Can I get the? Yeah. Good. I think we're good to go. Awesome. All right. Hello, welcome to the January 8th, 2025 school board meeting. Will you all join me for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item number 3.0 on the agenda is the attendance. Diane, will you, oh, wait. Cheryl calls the attendance. No, Diane.
No, that's me.
Ray calls the attendance.
Ms. Jacobs,
Here.
Mr. Kelleher,
Present.
Ms. Lindstrom's absent, Ms. Mauer,
Here.
Mr. Rockenstein,
Here.
Ms. Tarpinian,
Here.
Mr. Peony Huff,
Here.
Ms. Ruskina,
Here.
Ms. Claret.
Here.
All right. Are we going to turn over to Diane for a brief moment?
Yes, this evening I wanted to take a moment to recognize a few outstanding educators who unexpectedly passed away recently. The first would be Elizabeth Cummings. She was a longstanding administrative assistant in the district, had been with us for 25 years. She spent her first 4 years as a special education administrative assistant and has been the administrative assistant in the facilities department for the last 21 years. She died from complications from cystic fibrosis on December 12th. On December 19th, we had another staff loss, Justin Stebbins, another 20-year veteran here in Scarborough. He served in a number of capacities during his time with us as world language teacher at Wentworth, the high school, and at middle school at different points. He's also the former SEA president. He had served as middle school chorus advisor, and most recently his full-time position in the district was as the middle school tech coach. He passed away unexpectedly due to a medical event. These are huge losses for us as a district, and I would ask that you join me in a moment of silence.
Thank you, Diane. This has been an incredibly difficult school year in terms of the amount of loss that our students and staff have experienced. I really am thankful of how mindful you've been in guiding the staff and the students through this an incredibly difficult period.
Thank you.
So moving to the next agenda item, which is 4.0, I would entertain a motion for approval of the December 18th workshop and business meeting minutes that were in your board packet.
So moved.
Second. Call the roll.
Well, we can do,
Here.
Oh, well, we can vote. Right, hands, show of hands. So show of hands. That shows unanimous. Thank you. Moving to item number 5.0, this is a non-action item. In your board packet, you will have noticed a list of resignations, retirements, and new hires for your consideration. Moving to item number 6.0, which is our adjustments to the agenda. I do have one adjustment to the agenda tonight, which is 7.0 and 7.1, the spotlight recognition, which we're going to move to next week, which is our next January board meeting. I would entertain a motion if people would approve moving that spotlight award.
so moved.
Second.
Show of hands. So yeah, it's unanimous. Were there any other adjustments to the agenda?
None. Thank you.
So moving to the now item 7.0, that is the superintendent's report. Diane.
Yes. Good evening. Not a whole lot of new information to report, whereas we are just returning from break. We did receive a lot of really positive feedback about the 2-week break at the holiday. I think that families and staff very much appreciated that, although I'm sure that parents were very excited for school to start on Monday. If we take a look at the enrollment, we have our monthly enrollment report for you here. Interestingly, our enrollment has increased 12 students as of December 31st as compared to November 30th. So, I know that our numbers are continue to be stable, but there is a little bit of fluidity from month to month. So I just wanted to note that to you. Moving forward, again, we had a snow day yesterday. And so that is our second traditional snow day. And so this is just a reminder that we have one more traditional snow day before we move to asynchronous remote days. I was reflecting back on that, and since we had made this change to the calendar a few years back to have a balance of traditional snow days and asynchronous days, we've never had to use asynchronous days to date for this purpose. But I am a little bit nervous that it is only January 8th and we have used 2 of the traditional days. So I would just remind folks that if you haven't taken a look at the asynchronous expectations or procedures as a family, it might be time for you to sneak a peek. That is on our district website. The other couple of other just pieces of information to let you know about, and certainly Cressy may talk about this more when committee reports come, but just letting you know that this is the time of year where our high school students have visit time to take a look at CTE programs at both WVRC in Westbrook and Paths in Portland. And I have to tell you, there's just so much robust programming and options and pathways available to our students. And so that's super exciting. And so Paths was supposed to be here yesterday to meet with interested high school students. And so we're rescheduling that. But WRBC that will take place on February 4th. So even though those are 2 set dates, they're really super flexible about offering students opportunities to learn more about their programs. Related to programming, I'm just going to kind of whet your appetite a little bit and not talk about this much other than to say we're going to add this to the agenda for next week. The high school is considering building out a new pathway for students in the form of a STEM endorsement that high school students might be able to take. And they're really excited about coming and talking with you about that. We want to have conversation with the board about that in advance of the program of studies discussion that you get every spring, because we feel like this is a significant add or change, if you will. And so want to make sure that we're getting the board's input before that is fully developed and fleshed out.
Excellent. Thank you. That's exciting. I look forward to that.
Absolutely.
All right, for the chair's report, I am not your chair. I'm moonlighting as your chair. So the chair did not leave me a report to share with you other than, so I just wanted to say Happy New Year to everybody. Happy birthday to our chair, who is off on a grand adventure. And I expect that she will be joining us next week to lead us fearlessly on. And with that, that's agenda item 8.0. We'll move to agenda item 9.0, which is committee reports. Starting with the Community Outreach Committee. Cressy. I think it's Cressy this time. Or Charlotte, sorry.
Charlotte, it's actually Charlotte.
No wonder you were looking at me, Danik.
The Community Outreach Committee recently met prior to the winter break, and thanks to Cressy, there's a recent article or upcoming article in the Scarborough Living that highlights the post-referendum committee and gives the community a snapshot of the work that they'll do. So thank you, Cressy. We're going to be sending out the survey for the community forum again. We are really looking for more input from the community to better understand what our forum should be focused on. So you'll see that, I think, in the district newsletter and then also on social media. Our senior citizen dinner celebration planning is continuing to take place. And we'll be excited to host our staff spotlight at our next meeting next Thursday, 7 p.m. and honor one of our lovely staff members in the district. And our next committee meeting will be at 6 p.m. Next Thursday.
Turning to the curriculum committee.
All right, so we met on Monday at 5:30. Discussed the Maine through-year assessment, which we learned was an optional test provided by the state, and that the district has some flexibility in how they roll that out. And so some of the middle school is for sure using it, and they use it as another data point to just make decisions about where kids are placed. And it's just another piece of information for them. But it is designed to be super flexible and not required. We also discussed some of the curriculum changes that are in, they're working on right now. The math group met on the 7th, although maybe not. They were going to meet on the 7th. I didn't even, it was in my notes from Monday, and so apparently they're going to reschedule. So decisions from there will be forthcoming. And then the visual and performing arts groups will meet next month. So more information likely to be coming in March. And then for the comprehensive needs assessment, a form is being developed right now. Katie is going to bring it back to our group at our next meeting, and we will look at the selection for community members, mostly looking for people with some sort of education background, because that is an important piece. And then we meet next on February 2nd at 5:30.
Awesome.
Can I just clarify one piece? So the Maine through-year assessment is not an optional test. It is required by the state. What is optional is if we choose to do winter testing.
Oh, winter testing.
So
Okay,
I
thank
just
you.
want to make sure that I'm clarifying that so that we don't get phone calls like,
Why are we taking the,
you know,
okay.
like, oh, I don't want my
Oh,
child doing that.
you did say that. I couldn't, I guess I couldn't differentiate.
That's okay.
Like, all right.
Yeah,
Optimistic, yes, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Jillian. Mitchell, you have a beautiful finance report
Oh,
for us.
thank you. It took a very long time. Just like a long time was our meeting back in December 18th. So excuse me if I forget a thing or two here or there. We essentially continued our discussion about budget line item transfers and how or when they should be reported to the board. We covered a few different policies, which ones can be either cut or condensed, all put together. And then we also kind of discussed some upcoming changes to our current budget with open positions and outside contractors that we've been needing to use. Other than that, it was just a couple final updates to the calendar to align with town leadership, and our next meeting's the 27th.
Excellent, thank you. We'll give the negotiations report. We've been in contact with our partners at SEA, and our first kind of substantive meeting is going to kick off on January 20th. So we look forward to engaging on with them on the new contract for our special ed contract, which has a better name than that, but that's what I call it. Moving to our policy report, we have had a very ambitious agenda tonight that we just finished prior to this meeting. We did make it through the majority of the policies that are on that. So we ended up having the opportunity to get the feedback from the Finance Committee and do some very substantive review and changes to propose to the board for the finance policies or the annual budget or the school budget, depending on which policy you're in. And I look forward to presenting those. We're going to not present them at next meeting only because it's a week from now. And I want to make sure that we give plenty of notice for people to review them, because we are going to likely we're going to be moving forward with a recommendation to actually strike most of these policies out of our policy book and condense them into one policy. So yeah, so we worked closely with the finance office. We heard the feedback from the Finance Committee, and I look forward to bringing that forward shortly. Our next meeting is February 5th. We are going to kick off we're going to work on the school calendar, which is always a topic of interest for people. And we're also going to delve into, I believe, the social media policy and the public concerns and complaints and complaint policies, which I believe may be of interest to members of the public. So we're welcome anybody to join us for that. Other than that, we'll go through the under discussion and keep moving forward. Happy to take any questions. All right. That moves us to the next agenda item, which is 10.0, the liaison reports. Do I have any liaison reports tonight? Oh, yes, Cressy.
Diane and I were at the vocational and technical education where we got updates from Paths and WVRC. So again, they're recruiting, they're trying to recruit more women into some of the trades. So that's something that they're really focusing on. They presented, WVRC presented a video that they were going to use to recruit students. Their Paths is also assessing, where there's demand for their programs, and, to make sure that they keep their programs relevant and that they have students, that they adjust programs that aren't, where they're not getting good recruitment. So what else? That is all I remember. Anything else, Diane, that you would
I
add?
think you hit the highlights.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
very good.
Awesome. Thank you. That's a super exciting programs. Yeah. Moving to our agenda item number 11.0, that's the student reports.
Okay, at the high school last month, the National Honor Society had a food drive, and over 450 pounds of food were collected to benefit the South Portland Food Cupboard. And there was also lots of band and chorus events. There was the Holiday Cabaret. It was held on Friday, the December 12th, in the high school cafeteria, where lots of individual people or small groups of students could showcase their talents to the community. And on the 19th, Mr. Mosier and a group of 20 students visited the 6 senior living communities of Scarborough to provide entertainment by caroling for the communities. And looking ahead at the high school, midterms run from the 20th, and then semester 2 starts on the 26th.
I don't have much because school just started up again, but before winter break, Pleasant Hill had their students participate in holiday around the world activities where they learned about Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, and more holidays, including some history and traditions, which fosters early knowledge of different cultures. And here are pictures of students making crafts relating to these holidays.
Any questions for the students? That's a great report. All right, moving to agenda item number 12.0, general public comment. I don't see any members of the public here to make comment. If there's anybody here or online, please so indicate. And see none, I'm going to close public comment. And moving to agenda item 13.0, I would just like to share with you that I'm happy to be your chair for an agenda that is this smooth. And with no objection, I will close the meeting at 7:19, and I want a record for that.